The top 1% don't work harder than you think. They just think very differently from everyone else. So how do they do it? Most people believe success comes from grinding harder or working harder, hustling longer or waiting for the perfect moment. Not always, but here is what I've discovered after studying the patterns of elite performers, the patterns of successful women, the patterns of even other successful people you may know, and women who have completely reinvented their lives after in middle life or after 40 years of age. They operate from a completely different mental framework, and the shocking part, anyone can learn it. So if you are a woman or middle-aged woman over 40 who is tired of playing small, you are tired of shrinking your dreams to fit other people's expectations, and you are ready to step into the most powerful chapter of your life, come here and we are going to talk about this today. This video will show you exactly how the top 1% think, and more importantly, how you can adopt these patterns of thinking starting from today. I'm Edith, and here on Simply Reinvent, I help ambitious women create their next chapter, most extraordinary chapter, no matter where you're starting from. Because when you think like the top 1%, you start to live like the top 1%. You start to feel like you belong. So let's dive in. How does this work? How do they do it? Here is the truth most people miss. The top 1% don't see limits, they see leverage. When faced with a challenge, the average person asks, can I do this? I've been there. I'm not talking about something I've never been there. I've been through challenges myself. I've been through even hard challenges which I couldn't believe I could come out to the next part of or to the other side of the bridge. The elite, they ask themselves, how can I make this work? Who can help me? What resources already exist? So is the what, how, why, and when you have to think of. Whenever you've got challenges, think what, when, how, why. It's not about luck or privilege. It's about mental frameworks. Let me give you an example. When most people get rejected, for example, in an interview, whether it's a business idea or a pitch or even a personal goal, they internalize it as a proof that they are not good enough. So sometimes we talk about affirmations. When you do affirmations and you affirm certain phrases into your life, they belong, they become part of you. So don't internalize negative thoughts in you. What do the 1% do? They treat rejection as data. So they use that information to reinvent themselves. They ask, what can I learn from this experience? What needs to be refined? What is the next test? How am I going to approach the next challenge? This is what I call strategic detachment. Not attaching your worth to your results, but using your results to sharpen your strategy. So, the average mind sees problems. The elite mind sees patterns and opportunities. And here is what's powerful for women over 40 and for women that are of middle age. You already have decades of pattern of recognition. You have navigated careers, you have navigated relationships, you have navigated setbacks, and you have navigated comebacks. So the question isn't whether you are capable, it's whether you are thinking from your old limitations or your new possibilities. Failure is feedback, not identity. Write that down. Failure is feedback and not your identity. That one shift, that one reframe changes everything. So now, here is where it gets so interesting. The top 1% don't focus on goals. They focus on identity alignment. Think about it. If you internalize identity or your internal identity says, I'm overwhelmed, I'm not too old to start, or I'm too old to start over, I'm not that young anymore, I've missed my chance, your actions will always match the belief. But if your identity says, I am a woman who adapts, who evolves, who builds extraordinary chapters no matter what, your behavior starts to shift instantly. The elite understand this. Who you believe you are shapes what you are willing to do. So here is the problem most people face. They try to chase goals from their old identity. They want a new business, but they still see themselves as not entrepreneurial. I've been there. I never thought I can be a senior leader because I didn't think I belong. So I thought those were jobs for an elite or the chosen ones. So you need to shift your mindset from that negative thinking, from that internalized type of negativity. The elite, they want confidence, but those people that do not get successful, they want confidence, but they still identify as the anxious one. So those two things, it's a paradox. You cannot want to be confident, but then at the same time you identify as someone who is so anxious. People that are not going to be successful, they want reinvention, but they still operate from I don't know if I can. Again, there's still that negativity within you which needs to shift, and identity always wins. That's why I've done a topic on identity. Please check that video and see how can you change your identity to belong. Instead of just setting goals, start engineering your identity. Ask yourself 3 questions, just 3 questions every morning when you wake up. Who am I becoming? How does that version of me think, act, and make decisions? So that you belong, because you need to belong to that top 1%. And if you belong to that top 1%, you need to think differently, you need to act differently, and you need to make decisions with authority and make them differently. The third thing is, what would the 1% version of me today do right now in this moment? This isn't just a mindset work, this is identity engineering, and it's how real lasting reinvention begins after 40. Because you're not trying to become someone new, you are stepping into who you have always been meant to be. So everyone is meant to be of something, of some authority of some sort, but we do tend to limit ourselves to make those potential and to get to that and unfold that potential we have. So let's talk about something the top 1% never advertise but always master: emotional control. Here is what sets them apart. They feel fear and move anyway. They feel doubt and take action anyway. They feel uncertainty and decide anyway. Most people wait to feel ready. The 1% act until they feel ready. Emotional mastery doesn't mean suppressing your feelings or pretending everything is fine. It means leading yourself through emotions instead of being led by the emotions themselves. So this is crucial for middle-aged women or women who are looking to reinvent themselves and belong to the top 1%. Because let's be real here, you have been conditioned to put everyone else's emotions first. Not a bad idea. To manage the household's mood. Not a bad idea. To keep the peace. Again, not a bad idea. To stay small so others feel comfortable. I don't know whether that's what we call humbleness, but that's not what you are meant to be. You are meant to belong to the top. But elite level reinvention requires you to prioritize your emotional clarity. When things fall apart, when plans shift, when people misunderstand your vision, when progress feels like it's very slow, emotional discipline is what keeps you going. You need that emotional discipline to be kept in check. So ask yourself, do I let my emotions lead me, or do I lead my emotions? So those two things need to be in check to make sure that you are not led by your emotions, but you let your emotions lead. You are not led by emotions, so don't let your emotions lead you. The 1% lean to pause, breathe, recalibrate, and then execute with clarity. So they pause for focus, for clarity, and then execute next. That pause, that split second between feeling and reacting, that's where power lives. That pause in between the feeling and reality and reacting, this is where power is. So that's where you need to build discipline. Emotional consistency is the true measure of power, and it's a skill you can build starting today. That's why I'm talking about this, because I've got so much passion about inspiring other women, inspiring those people that feel like they cannot write their next chapter. Never ever give up on your dreams. So here is another one thing that the 1% understand that most people don't. They don't rely on motivation, they rely on systems. Motivation is fleeting, it's emotional, it comes and goes beyond on your mood. Your energy, and it goes beyond on your mood, your energy, and your circumstances. But systems make success inevitable. Let me give you the examples around how systems make success inevitable. So I'll try to eat healthy this week. Just an average approach. I think of an example. 1% approach, meal plan every Sunday. Prep in advance. They eliminate decision fatigue. So it's not like everything is like in the cloud where you say, I'll try to eat healthy this week. That's a very generic statement. But if you want something that is actionable, something that has got clarity, is you have a meal plan every Sunday. You prepare for that plan in advance so that you don't have fatigue of deciding, oh, this week I said I want to eat healthy, so today what am I eating? Again, I'll be more productive tomorrow. This average approach of thinking of saying, oh, tomorrow I'm going to start doing exercises. What the 1% people do, they block calendars. They set environment and they remove distractions before starting a certain activity they've planned for. I'm going to the gym tomorrow. So they block the calendar to say my gym time is 8 to 9 a.m. So that time is already set aside for that activity. So there's no distractions before starting or anything. It's already been blocked in the calendar. Another approach, I'll work on my business when I feel inspired. When is that time? Just start and modify as you go along. Make things better as you go along. If you're going to wait until that inspiration comes, when is it going to come? Because today's life is very, very busy. If you're like me, I'm a mom of 3. I'm a senior leader in a big organization, and I also have got other activities to do with the kids outside. So that time is never going to come. If I think I've got this ambition, I've got this passion to help women to reinvent themselves. I'm not very good at talking in front of the camera, but I'm putting myself out there to challenge myself out there to inspire other women who can feel like my message resonates with them. So the 1% approach, it's non-negotiable weekly business hours. Even if it's just 3 hours, you say, okay, I'm going to set aside 1 hour every Saturday to make sure that I work on my business. And that 1 hour every Saturday, they stick to it. They would do something about what they want to achieve. And the difference is intentionality. So designing your life to match the results you want. And here's what's exciting for middle-aged women. You've already proven you can build systems. We've spoken about that earlier. You've managed households, you've managed careers, you've managed budgets, you've managed schedules, and you have managed crises. So there's nothing new you are going to face anymore anyway. The only difference now is you are building systems that save your next chapter. Not everyone else needs, but your next chapter. So ask yourself, what's that one system I can create this week that would make my reinvention easier? Maybe it's a morning routine. Maybe it's your 1 hour time set aside. Even your 1 hour time just to pause and think and have that power time. Remember, which I said, the pause and reacting, the time in between. It's important that it is intentional time that you need. Maybe it's a financial review habit. A lot of us don't have money discipline. So it's very important to have that financial review habit, how you can develop money discipline to have those frugal life habits, or to have the frugality, of maybe at least how you can balance your budgets, how you can live without or sleep without having to think what tomorrow looks like. Maybe it's the 20 minutes of learning daily. Just challenge yourself. If you cannot challenge yourself, and if you feel like you cannot do it alone, have some accountability of some sort. Buddy with somebody who can check up on you to say, have you done your gym time? Or let's go to the gym, it's time to walk in the street, or it's time for us to do the having that accountable person who can check on you also does help in terms of how you can be intentional for your goals or what you want to achieve. Small systems compounded over time create extraordinary results. It's just simple as that. So here is the final truth about the top 1%. They never stop expanding. Not because they have got it all, or they mastered it all, or they have got it done by other people. No, not because they are unsatisfied or restless. No, but because they understand this fundamental law. Stagnation is self-sabotage. They constantly ask, what's next for me? What's possible now that was not possible before? And here is what I want you to understand about reinvention in middle-aged women. It's not about erasing your past. Your past defines your future. Remember, I said you've already been through those crises. You've already been through certain schedules. You've already been through all those crises. So you are not actually reinventing life of before, but you are using the past to shape your future. So it's about integrating your experience into a bigger vision. If you hit a plateau in your life, your business, your mindset, it's not the end. That's life. You are going to have graphs that go like this, or sometimes it actually goes down continuously, but it will pick up again. But it is a signal when you hit those plateaus, a signal that your old identity has reached its limit and your new identity is ready to emerge. That is what should be playing in your gut, in your mind, and to say, okay, I'm here now. Here is the new me coming up. Expansion requires courage, but it also requires faith in yourself, in timing, and in the process of becoming. The woman you are becoming isn't a fantasy. She's already inside you, the woman you are becoming, waiting for you to start thinking differently, to act differently, and finally give her permission to rise. So rise up, woman who is inside you. Yeah? The 1% know this. Your next chapter can be your greatest chapter. And you don't need permission from anyone else to claim it. So if this message resonates with you and you think it can inspire other women, share with others. And also don't forget to subscribe and watch that identity video as well, which I did last time, so that at least you can have that message connected. Until next time, here is the challenge for you for this week. And it is a very simple one. Start asking yourself throughout the day, what would the 1% version of me do right now? Would she scroll through social media or study something valuable? Would she doubt her vision or make one decision towards it? Would she play small or step up and rise again? You already have everything you need. The power, the experience, and the resilience. You just need to start thinking like the woman who owns it. If this message spoke to something deep inside you, remember, and it has resonated with you, Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join the Simply Reinvent community, where ambitious women and those women that want to learn to rebuild and to refocus and rise into their most powerful chapter come together and share their experiences. Drop a comment below and tell me what's the one mindset, 1% mindset shift you are committing to this week. And I read every single one of them, because if I can shift only the mindset of one woman, it makes my day, because it's never too late to start thinking and living like the top 1%. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.